Think I am live. Let's see. I'm a little early. Let's see if it's going. Give me some time to join to the cool stylings. Are you joining us? I'm wanting to post this in a group as you're joining me here. It is, alright. So I'm going to put this into... There we go. Alright, welcome to the heart of NLP. Creating confidence using NLP. NLP in action. And what does that mean? Well, how important is confident? Or how important is confidence? How confident are you in your ability to create confidence? And I will share a story. And as a matter of fact, I will probably share this story again this week. If you are, I'll put the schedule in. I'm doing a few Real Deal interviews this week. Got Tommy Savit on Tuesday, I believe. On Wednesday, I think it is going to be Matt Millen, who is the vice president of sales with Tony Robbins when I was there. And then the Thursday will be the amazing Greg Gleason, the illusionist and magician, an amazing guy who uses NLP. We'll talk about that quite a bit. But I'm sharing this story. I'm bringing this up because, well, I had an opportunity to use my skills on purpose. See, I was blessed to have the opportunity to get this job with Tony Robbins, and they flew me out to San Diego to, for lack of a better word, audition. Now, I already had the job. I was already given the job, and what had happened was I really didn't know exactly what I was doing just yet. I'd never seen the gig in action. I didn't really know what to expect. All I knew is I was speaking already. I was coaching already. I was a master practitioner at the time. I wasn't yet a trainer of NLP, but I was a master practitioner. And I applied what Tony taught me to create incredible results in my life, whether it be transforming my health or, more importantly, basically starting from nothing and creating an incredible career in the music industry, working on multiple Grammy-winning records. And I was going through the whole process of reinventing myself, and I had this opportunity to work with Tony. And they flew me out to San Diego, where I had to demonstrate my training that I would be doing. Now, they had sent me the script, and they'd sent all of this to me, but I'd never seen it done before. I didn't have any real model on how it was supposed to work. And NLP is all about modeling. I didn't have the model to build. So what had happened was I bombed. I failed miserably. I was unable to deliver the content as I should have. I had the confidence to show up, and that was great. And I had the confidence to deliver, albeit very poorly. And that was the challenge. It was a bad delivery. It was poor performance. So... And by the way, so here's the audience, essentially. The VP of sales, the guy who had originally taken me on, the Tony's son, Jarek, Tony's brother-in-law, Scotty, who's now basically running the team, Roberto Monaco, who I have had still, of course, I'm in touch with, amazing guy. He's been on The Real Deal. Check him out as well. And a few of the other team members, and one other guy that was being hired essentially at the same time as me. And so I bombed. It was horrible. And we'll have this chat on Wednesday with Matt. Matt came up to me and he said, "Dude, what happened? What did you do? You know, what's you don't have any sessions. You don't have any gigs. Like we're taking your calendar and you've got 2 weeks to get your butt in gear and send us videos of you doing what we need you to do correctly. And I had an opportunity, and then that night we all went out to dinner. And I had an opportunity that night to make a decision. I could sulk. I could sit in the corner and sulk and woe is me and I screwed up, and I could have just wallowed in my sorrows at that time. Or I could apply everything that I've learned, everything that I stand for, and prove that I could make this happen, make it work. So rather than sit in the corner and suffer and wallow and be miserable, I sat with Matt, I sat with Steve and Jarek and Scotty at that table, not with the other team, not with the one guy that I was really comfortable with, that I already knew that I'd spent some time with, but I fully stepped up into that moment. And how did I do it? Well, I remembered that this was just a fraction of time, that yes, I did screw up, but I had a choice. I had a choice to either prove that I was a product of the product, to prove that I would be able to take any sort of rejections, to take any situations where people were kicking me down and saying, no, you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, you're not all of that, bypass all of that, get truly focused on what it was I was there to do. I was there to connect. I was there to prove what was possible. Now, cut back to the 2 weeks later, I came home, tail between my legs a little bit, and I woodshedded. Man, I did the work. I practiced. I studied. I memorized. I made sure that I got it down. And then at another point in time, I became one of the top guys on the team. Now, this was fantastic, and this is great. We'll talk about this with Matt and some of the skill sets and how important NLP is to be able to maneuver not only yourself but others, right? To give them confidence, to be able to put an opportunity for people to feel that strength, to feel that confidence, to feel all of that. Oop, look at that. That's horrible. That was a faux pas. I should have had this off. So, can you use NLP to build your confidence? Absolutely. When is it important? Well, always. One of the things that we taught with Tony, and Tony would share this with you, and I'm sure you'd agree, that confidence is, if not everything, it's a good 90%, 95% of the mindset needed in order to push through any resistance, any obstacles, right? You've got to have your why. You've got to have all of those things, of course. And those are what's going to pull you towards those outcomes. And NLP helps create that as well and get really clear on that and put it in a format that is really understandable to your neurology, to your central nervous system, so that you can take massive action. And you're not going to without that confidence, without that ability to step up. A longer part of that story is, in order to get the gig with Tony, I went through a couple of processes because they were going through some challenges when I first started the conversation with the team. So what had happened was they were shifting personnel, things were changing, and the HR person said, look, I'm just going to be honest with you, this could take months because we have all of these things happening. We have personnel changes. We have someone is going to be taking time off. There's all these crazy things happening. And I said, that's no problem. And with certainty and confidence, I said this: I'm going to call you every Friday in the morning. And they were in California. I said, you don't have to pick up the phone because I know you're going to know who I am and I know you're going to know it's me. But I'm going to leave you a story or a joke or an anecdote, or I'm just going to be checking in and leave some value add. And then every Friday I did that. I left a story. I shared something. I was persistent and consistent in showing up with confidence to deliver some information, some value add, something special. Now, during the process, again, of getting with Tony, I was stopped along the way by someone during the interview process, all the different people that we went to speak to, and they said, he doesn't have a lot of, this sales experience, and he doesn't have the, he's got this other business going on with music and all this, so, maybe this isn't the right gig for him. And the person who I had told with all that certainty and confidence that I was going to call every week, she pushed me through and said, no, you don't understand. This is the kind of person we need in this position. He's the only one who said they were going to do X, Y, and Z and followed through with it. And that took certainty and confidence, because imagine this, every week on a Friday, calling and saying, hey, here's a story, here's a joke, here's something. As I promised, I'm going to call you every Friday. And then I did. And she never got back to me. I only found out when that person had basically pushed back, and she had pushed me through. Now, the other thing why this is really important is to be able to help someone access confidence within themselves. So if you're in sales, not only do you have to have more confidence than that other person may have fear, you also are going to benefit greatly from helping that person access confidence within themselves to take action, to be able to utilize and take advantage of the gift, the service, the benefits that you have to offer. They need to access that inner confidence to overcome their own fear and to follow through. If we're committed to helping them get results, this is one of the ways we do it, is by helping them create that confidence within themselves. And this also happened with working in the treatment industry. So some of you may or may not know this or recall this, or we may have met this way. Got recruited from working with Tony Robbins to actually bring personal development to the drug and alcohol treatment world. And what was really powerful about that is the certainty and confidence one would need to be in that environment, and more importantly, to help them access certainty and confidence so that they could create a life worth being sober for, so that they could overcome the conversations in their head. There were plenty of times when we would have a group and there would be people unhappy to be there. How about that? They're not really thrilled that they are in treatment. And by utilizing NLP and applying the tools, the strategies, was able to help so many people get out of their own way. And what we really learned through all this is drugs and alcohol aren't the problem. They're the solution anyway. And it all starts with ourselves. And what is NLP but language for how we're already doing what we're doing? It's just a way to understand it. Really, it's the study of the subjective human experience. So when you understand NLP, you understand humans. You could also notice when things are happening, when things are going wrong, perhaps when things are having challenges and we are wondering, what's going on? How is this possible? And then be able to do something about it, not only with ourselves, but with others, to show them what's possible. So if this is something that interests you, if you're thinking to yourself, you know what, NLP sounds very interesting. Neurolinguistic programming is something that I see how it could help. If you'd benefit from more confidence, more certainty, or if you'd benefit from understanding how to influence yourself and others, right? The first person you need to influence is yourself. Or if you'd like to learn how to apply NLP not only to sales and influence, but to speaking, to become a professional speaker, or if you already are a speaker or a coach and you'd like to sharpen those skills, because I tell you what, the best speakers, the best coaches, if they didn't study NLP, they had some natural abilities to do so, or they were taught it under a different name. Because the truth is, I'll give you an example. When we talk about motivational interviewing is a training that is shared with therapists. So when we worked in the treatment field, I spoke at conferences around the country. And I would go in and I would see these things like, oh, motivational interviewing. This is this fantastic way to, really help clients. And I would say, oh, this is great. I want to learn about this. Motivational interviewing. This sounds really great. And I walked in, sat in on these trainings, and it was just NLP with a different name. That's all it was. It was the NLP coaching model, but they called it motivational interviewing. What was it? It was using NLP in the coaching model, which I've been doing for over 2 decades. It was understanding how to ask questions that create the environment for someone to have the transformation and own it, right? Because here's the deal. If I tell you something, it means nothing. When you tell you something, it means everything. So what NLP allows, what a practitioner of NLP will be able to do is help the person they're working with have their own aha moments, to have them realize what's possible, to have them figure it out. So it's not just someone telling the other person what to do, what to think, or how to show up. It's helping them figure out how to do it. And this works with big groups. So as a speaker, same thing. In my speaker training and UROC speaking training, the breakthrough speaker training, it's the same thing. It's NLP is being taught throughout the process. Sometimes I'll tell you this is specifically NLP. Other times we may share you, okay, this came from NLP, or just may not mention it at all because it's just some of the skills necessary, but we figured it out by utilizing the modeling process of neurolinguistic programming. So with that being said, if that's something that interests you, keep on paying attention. I did it a little early. I said it was going to be 5 o'clock, but we have dinner coming up and you can watch on a replay. If this was helpful, please share this. And if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me. Message me, and I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you about neurolinguistic programming, how it can be a benefit to you. If you're interested in being a speaker, we have speaker trainings, and then if you're just really wanting to learn the fundamentals, the heart of NLP, we have that available as well. And really, it's my pleasure, my purpose to serve, my passion to serve. And while I have things that I would like to share, more importantly, I want to know how I can serve you even more. So I appreciate you for who you are and who you aren't. And if you have any questions, concerns, or thoughts otherwise, please share them. And I look forward to serving you even more. We'll see you, I believe, tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And if not, we will see you when we see you. Alrighty. God bless.